People. Oh, sorry about this, a slight delay there. My eyes are killing me already. I'm going to have to put my glasses on this sec. Let me just turn this volume down a little bit so you can hear me. There we go. So yeah, apologies for a slight delay. I didn't quite get things set up the way I wanted to, as always. We are going to be building this Pop Drip Bear very shortly, and it's going to be a short stream, looking at probably an hour, just under. So bear with me, guys. I'm just trying to set up the second camera, but I needed to use my phone for something else. So in the meantime, if you're out there and you're watching, let me know, guys. What do you think about non-Lego building sets? I don't want to call it off-brand because that's like a cheap version of Lego, and BlockTech obviously doing their own thing. So what do you think? Do you buy them? Do you rate them? Are some cool, some not? Do you not touch them with a badge pole? We're going to get into this set very shortly, and we're going to see how cool they actually are. Let me just finish writing this caption, and we can go live. No, live, we're already live. We can get things kicked off. So apologies. That should be done. Just test that with my other audio. So let me know what's going on. Nimble, how are we doing, mate? Just put a bit of me a sec while I'm doing something. I forgot to share the link. Turn the audio off. I completely forgot to share the live now video. I always forget about it till like 5 minutes before the stream, and then I haven't got time to actually. I filmed it, edited it, so I thought I'm not going through all that to have not posted it. So I do definitely need to make like a template version where I just literally say, "Hey guys, we're live now. We're going to be building this." I can pop the sticker on afterwards, and then I can use the same one over and over again. But obviously, I haven't got to that point because I'm not that talented. So bear with me just a sec, and I'll be with you. But let me know in the meantime. Hit in the chat. Do you like non-Lego building sets, other non-Lego building sets? And if so, which ones do you prefer? Because I'm building this bad boy. It's the Pop Drip Bear. Got this for free on behalf of BlockTech, essentially. And I'm going to be building it on stream right now. I don't expect it to be a particularly long build, but I can ride with you guys, or you can ride with me, find out how things are going, and have a little chat with you guys, and try and interact with the chat as best as I can whilst building. And this is actually Cool Hand Builds number 9. I can't believe I've done 9 of these streams. It feels like I've done 3. I don't even remember what the other builds were, if I'm honest, but okay, let's add this to the story so people know we're live. While that's loading up, let's get this uploaded. And let's get the link in there for the YouTube. There he is. Building Pop Drip Bear. I actually saw this one and I thought, wow, this looks pretty cool. You know, normally these BlockTech sets are okay. I've built one on stream before, and I've built a couple in the past, and they're kind of meh. Sometimes they're little small builds. Like I got all of these, I still haven't built as well. And they're okay for little tiny kind of stocking filler type builds. I've got all 6 of these. And they've done a few other bits and pieces in the past that I've built. And they're okay, not too bad. The quality of the product is fine. It's just the actual build itself has never been interested to me. Obviously, I'm not a a fan, and I'm mostly Star Wars, so generally I'll take these back to work to demonstrate, but I actually like this one. It's pretty cool. So if I build it and I like it, I'm going to keep it and it's going to go on my shelf, and I'm going to represent BlockTech in my background. Hate it or love it. Let me just finish getting this posted. That'll do. I've posted it. Right, let's get this camera set up so you guys can see what I'm seeing, and then we can kick it off. Never know a good angle for this. Last time I got a good angle for building and it worked quite well. The only problem was I was doing direct live to YouTube, which didn't work at all for me because of the narrow angle. Apparently it's best to do that on YouTube because it brings in more views from people who don't normally go on your channel, but I didn't find that. I found maybe a handful of people, if that, and didn't really gain anything from it, so I didn't see the point. I didn't have full control. I couldn't see the chat as well because obviously I was streaming with my phone, and obviously this laptop has got a built-in camera. So I have got another camera, a webcam, but it connects to the same connection as the mic, so it means the audio would be crap. So yeah, and I had to move everything around, and then of course when I came to do my live stream show on Sunday, I had to move it all back. I ain't messing with that. I'm just going to try and do it within this space. So you have to let me know, guys, how it looks, and I'm going to set up this second camera now, live on it. Right, let's just check that's all live. Where is StreamYard? Right, StreamYard, into StreamYard. Gonna name this one Cool Hand Cam. I'm gonna guess. Mute that. So. Okay. Why am I still getting? Yeah. Why am I still getting an echo? Oh. Hello. It's not connected to my headphones as well. Why has that happened? Oh, that's fine. Thanks enough. That's good. That's my bad. Right. Still getting anything. Am I getting this? He's audio. It's when you second camera, you've got two cameras in the same studio. Probably gather. So they're just you're having like an echo. You might not hear it, but I definitely do. But for whatever reason, on my phone, when I normally connect a Bluetooth headset, I'm connected to a Bluetooth headset. Right. So now when I enter the now that okay. Sorry about that, guys. Right, let's get this camera rolling. On camera. Yeah, so if anyone knows of any way to avoid these kind of issues, because I'll never be able to not set up my, I'll never be able to set my camera up before I start a stream, my second camera up. It's impossible because I need to use my phone to set it up. And then obviously I need to use my phone for the camera. And of course, a webcam won't work. So I'm basically knackered. I got no, there's no way around it for me. But if anyone's got any suggestions as to how I can have everything set up so I can just hit live and actually go live for a change, that would be great. Not on the show. The show is fine because I'm only using one camera. But when I'm using two, there's no way to actually go live directly. And I would like to know a workaround for that if there was one. In the meantime, I just got to kind of work with this. What I've got. So let's replace the camera. Facing back. Done. No, I want to mirror it. There we go. So, fingers crossed this works now. Get these on, take the edge off that light a little bit. I don't actually know I've got headphones on, to be honest, because don't really need them. So I'm going to switch these off as well. Point down. Okay. Mm. Wires everywhere. A bit too high now. I can't really see down. Yeah, that's what's in. Let's try again with this. There we go. So I think we are good. Let's have a look. Get rid of all this crap in the background. So we got the pop drip there, right there, so we can see what we're building. So here we go, guys. How does that look? Let me know if is that kind of, does that work for you guys? Can you kind of see enough of the tray to sort of see what's being built? Don't really need that there, so I'm going to put that over here. And let's get rid of this background. Let's put the plain one up. Bit busy. There we go. So what I'm going to do is also I'm going to make this no, that didn't work. I want to make it so one is bigger than the other. Seems I don't know how to do that either. How do I get it so one is... I want the... Right. Now how do I swap these around? There we go. So there we go, guys. So that hopefully works a little bit better for you. Straighten that up. Music in the background, no music in the background, let me know. Maybe I just turn down a little bit. There we go. So sorry guys, in the chat I've kind of been completely ignoring everybody. So we had Bricktoes Northern Ireland, how we doing? Nimble Saucepan, all right mate. 4 bags left of the death star. Well done mate, well done. Garrett's in the chat. How are we doing, Garrett? Gotta get ready for footy. May catch you later. Oh, sorry, I missed you, Nimble. Sorry, Garrett. Sarah's there. How are we doing? A little bit late. Stand the stream for the usual issues, Sarah, but we're here. We're rocking and rolling. And we've got this. We've got the Pop Drip Bear. I'm trying to show it better in the camera. But the Pop Drip Bear by BlockTech, and it actually looks, I think it looks really cool with all these extra pieces and with the bright colors on, and I'm hoping they're going to be prints on our stickers. So yeah, let's get into it and let's see what we've got. Oops. That's probably just going to keep falling down, but I don't even know whether, do we need the tray? Yeah, I feel like the tray kind of contrasts the color a little bit so you can see the parts. So we have got in the bag. I will say with BlockTech sets, from the ones I've done in the past, that the instruction can be questionable. I'm going to dump out all the bags, as per usual. There's only 2 bags in this set, bag 1, bag 2. Get them dumped out. How are you guys doing in the chat anyway? Sound off. Let me know. Do you guys like a non-brand, non-Lego brand building set, or are you just Lego all the way, won't touch anything else? Or do you not mind it? Like me, I guess I'm kind of on the... I can't say I won't touch one because obviously I've done them before. Would I have them on my display? Would I keep them, and would I kind of cherish them like I do Lego? At this point, no. However, this might change it for me because I do really like this. I mean, the box art is pretty cool. It's kind of, you can kind of see the... This camera doesn't show it too well, but show, you know, you can see... Oh, let me just catch that right there. Kind of like a glisten to it. There we go. Let's look at that glisten. The way they've done that with the box art. So it's not just your cheap box art. Quality of the bricks, I'll say again. If Lego is the standard, and we're calling them 100%, I'd say the quality of these bricks in terms of the feel, how well they click together, how they look, I would say is probably 90 to 95% there. In line with Lego. They do, sometimes they can feel a little bit, they don't have the kind of, obviously the Lego print on them. And some of the bricks are different to what you get with Lego. The colors sometimes don't pop quite as much. But other than that, they're almost there. They're, you know, as close to Lego as you're going to get. And I'll tell you this much: if I couldn't see and I was opening this block, or I was holding these pieces blindfolded, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know the difference. I mean, obviously you can feel and not feel that there's at the top of the stud there's no Lego, but obviously, you know, that'd be the case for anybody. So that aside, I think, you know, it'd be virtually impossible to tell the difference. They don't feel cheap. They don't click together cheaply. BlockTech have come a long way, because I remember a time when BlockTech sets were very, very basic, very boring, and not only did the pieces feel cheap, but they didn't click together like normal pieces. The instruction books, as I got to say, has probably come a long way as well. Let me turn this light down a bit. That seems quite harsh. Let's turn that down. Let's turn this one down a little bit as well, because I feel like it's taking the color out of something. They've improved. It's 204 pieces, a 6+ set. But I feel like it's slightly better than it was before, just, you know, at a glance. They're not in booklet form. It's kind of full sheet like this, which can be a little bit frustrating when you're in a small space like this. But, you know, you can obviously fold it up to look at one piece at a time. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to look. I'm actually going to take the glasses off. Oh, what's happened to my camera there? Why is that paused? No idea where that paused then. Sorry, guys. Apologise for that. He needs to get a new tripod. This one's on its way out. Well, not on its way out, but it's kind of limited to what it can do. This thing keeps falling, so I'm just going to move it over to there. Yeah, so I'm going to make a start on this set. And literally the first piece they want me to start with is a piece that doesn't exist in Lego, and it's a 1x2 brick, but it's double-sided. And I'll show you that brick in a second. It looks like this. So it's double-sided 1x2, which is kind of odd. I'm not sure why this doesn't exist in Lego. Probably doesn't really need to. But it's cool nevertheless. And yeah, so I need 5 of them. Okay, 1, 2. I'm going to show you guys the instructions as well a little bit. Kind of impossible to show the build, the instructions, and my face, but I have made myself smaller today because you don't really need to see me. So I'm trying my best to keep up with chat, if there is any. It's all about the aisle and the aesthetic for me. I'm guessing that means look. The look and the aesthetic for me. I prefer Lego for build enjoyment, though. I think your sign needs blue tack. It does, yeah. I mean, it doesn't really need to be there. I just thought when people are tuning in, they'll know straight away what they're watching. I've just noticed there's a little piece of loose plastic stuck to it. Take that off. Yeah. You're right. I think with all the sets I've built before, BlockTech, I wouldn't even dream of having them in my collection. I've just kind of built them for either for a stream or just for fun and to demonstrate in store, which is why I get them for free. But with this one, I did not all the above is still true, but I did actually like the look of it. So I am quite tempted to, if it looks as good on the box when complete, I might be tempted to keep it in play. Well, I haven't really got a choice because I've got I'm planning to take it back and demonstrate it in store, but I'm going to probably, if it survives long enough, I may bring it back with me and put it on the display, or I'll get another one. I mean, it's £5. I get double discount coming up at the end of October for Christmas. But even with discounts, I'd get 25% off. So it'd be like, what, $3.75. But yeah, if I can wait till double discount to get it at the end of the month, which we do twice for Christmas, it'll be £2.50. And for that, I actually think it's, pretty cool build. So, so why have they? Oh, they've done it upside down. That's okay. Different. So we got a lot of these kind of snot bricks going on now just to kind of solidify what we've already done. I don't think I need to kind of annotate the build to you as such. It's not that type of build where we're showing you exactly how it's built. I've always kind of, when I've done these build streams, I've kind of thought to myself, is it about interacting with the chat? Is it about showing the build? I've always been I want to avoid reviewing a set to some degree. I mean, it's different if I'm just giving my first impressions on a set, which I've done videos like that before. But that's not me reviewing the set because I haven't got it in hand. It's just my opinion of the set, especially when I feel like my opinion might be very different to other people's. But I think it's quite kind of difficult to try and do all of those things, interact with the chat. Oh, there is that. I was going to say there's no stickers, but I'm kind of disappointed. I didn't actually notice till now, but there is actually a sticker sheet. The sticker sheet does look cool, but I was hoping some of these cool elements they've used were printed, particularly that kind of rainbow-colored ear one, sticker number 1. Hoping that was going to be printed, but fortunately not. So what's going on with this camera? It really doesn't like me. Just turning the camera off on its own for some reason. Touching the screen slightly. It's touching the screen slightly. You should, when you're in a stream on a device, it should, your phone, even if it's your phone, it shouldn't automatically go off like that. So I'm not sure why that's happening. Hopefully I'll notice if it happens again. Yeah, so I've always kind of questioned, what should I be doing on these streams? Should I be trying to... So for me, I think, you know, long story short, I'd rather interact with the chat, build along. You guys can see what I'm building, but I'm not really going to talk, you know, about exactly what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, you know, in too much detail. Just kind of, you know, enjoy me enjoying the build, if that makes sense. And of course, I'm also quite conscious of the fact, especially with a stream like this, where I've kind of decided to do it relatively last minute. So I haven't really hyped it up, and I haven't had a chance to get lots of people in for the stream. You know, when it comes to build streams, particularly in the middle of the day, you know, and it's kind of the middle of the day here in the UK as well as in the US. I'm conscious of the fact that there's not going to be a lot of people tuning in, and that's fine. But for that reason, I try to be aware of the fact that people might want to watch this on replay, and hopefully they do. And that's why I want to keep the stream short, straightforward. That whole bit at the beginning where I was kind of fumbling is annoying to me, because obviously that's an opportunity lost to, you know, keep some people engaged. But you know, it is what it is. Happens. I just need to learn from it and get better at being organized. But yeah, well, I'm conscious of people, you know, wanting to tune in and watch this, and for that reason, like I said, I keep it short, keep it to like an hour, and something interesting. I mean, if I'd just been building a set, a small Lego set or something, you know, as much as I could do that in an hour. I want to kind of enjoy the experience a little bit more, and I don't feel like I enjoy building Lego when I'm kind of as much when I'm trying to stream at the same time. So if I do, I'd have to do it in kind of multiple streams. And not only that, but sometimes I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like people don't really want to see me building a set that they've seen a million times before, or, you know, everybody else is building. I don't tend to build my set straight away anyway, so that's not usually an issue. But even if I was to build, like, I'm in the process of building Imperial Shuttle, and it's like, I don't think people are really interested in that because it's not different enough. This is different. I haven't seen anybody else building this, and never seen the set myself. So I'm trying to, you know, do something a little bit different to some degree when it comes to things like that. Whether anybody out there agrees or not, I don't know. Because they may think, well, no, we'd rather see actual Lego being built. So I'll try to do a bit of both, I guess. But so yeah, so I'm trying to do a little bit of both, but in particular with this stream, these streams, I try to pick out sets that are a little bit different. People sometimes, for whatever reason, people seem to be, from what I've seen on YouTube, just a little bit of research I've done, they seem to like the idea of non-Lego sets being built and just kind of seeing what they look like and, you know, what they're about. So there is a kind of desire for that, if you like, to some degree. So yeah, so just find it interesting. But, you know, if I am going to build those other things on the stream, it'll be on a stream where it's not really about the building, it's more about the chatting. So in that case, I do it like on a stream with like Nimble or Garrett or something like that, when I got time to organize one, I guess. It's kind of weird, so I'm like looking at this and thinking, why am I putting all the stickers on upside down? And then realize that the build itself at this point is upside down. So just add in like A little smiley face, melting smiley face. Okay, so what am I up to? Oh, that's a foot. Wait, I've got the wrong piece on there. That one's got a stud on it. I want one without a stud. Half circle with no stud. Put that on there. And then this goes on the bottom of. Right a sec. That's not right. That's not right. That's not right. No, so these should be longer. I've missed a part somewhere. Where have I missed a part? Why is that not level with that? That is smaller. So there should be taller versions of this somewhere. I can't see any, which is odd. Okay, so either they've missed a step or I've missed a step here because... Oh, that's why. I put the wrong piece on. I'm putting a... Okay, I'm just an idiot. So you can kind of see it taking shape. It's the little... I don't know what is going on with this camera. Never had this problem before. It's timing itself out for some reason. I just can't work out why. I mean, I'm live. Am I doing something different? No. I'm not sure what that is. I really apologize, guys, but for some reason, it just this is timing out like a phone would do if you hadn't used it for a long period of time. But that's never been an issue before. So I'm sorry. We're just gonna have to keep checking it. That's never happened before. I've used this to do an entire live stream. This phone, and not touched the phone at all throughout the live stream, and it's never been an issue. So I'm not sure why that's happening now. Just another one of those technical things that just suddenly starts happening. This is why I talk to people about technical issues, and they're like, "Oh, you know, it'll be fine. You know, you just need to get better at, you know." And I'm like, "Well, do I though? Because I don't feel like I'm the problem. I feel like it's the tech is the problem, because that's never happened before, and I haven't done anything different to what I normally do. I'm in the StreamYard with another device. You know, there's nothing really complicated about it. So the fact that it worked before and now it's not working, I don't think that's really anything to do with my ability. It's just because it's got a brain of its own. And that's what I get frustrated about with technology. Once you can learn something and do the same thing over and over again, that's fine. But when there's nothing to really learn from because, you know, something happens that's never happened before, then that's just annoying, frustrating. And you can't learn, like I said, you can't learn from it to do anything different in the future because it's never happened before and probably might never even happen again. So that's my bugbear. This leg is pretty cool. The way they've done a kind of robotic leg. So you can see one of his legs is a kind of robot leg, kind of like a cyborg leg type thing, or you know, maybe potentially supposed to be a well, his feet are slightly different as well. Supposed to be like a kind of prosthetic leg type thing, so pretty cool. This is why I like to have other people sometimes when I'm streaming. It does kind of make sense because you can have those people telling you, helping you out with the stream, suggesting things, and if obviously the camera goes off, they can pick up the pieces, or in some cases, run the stream while you're sorting things out. Or there's somebody else to talk to, so the chat isn't just kind of left to it while I'm trying to sort out technical issues, like at the very beginning. This is why I wanted to do regular build streams like this. And we did kind of set it up. Myself and Garrett, we're going to do it. And we got sorted some stuff out so that we could, once a week, we were going to do a little short stream like this, only we weren't really focusing on the Lego. I mean, the Lego was what we were doing, and we might talk about the build a little bit. But generally, the point of the stream was just to talk to each other, get to know each other, and just talk with the chat about a number of different random things. Unfortunately, it hasn't gone off the ground yet. It's still early days, so I'm not saying that it won't, but it didn't get off the ground as well as we thought it would initially, because we've both been very, very busy with life and other things. But it is on the agenda. The whole Wallagon, if you know what I'm talking about, it will be coming back, hopefully very soon. I say coming back, never really started, but we will be moving it forward here very soon, and hopefully getting you guys another episode, and then kind of trying to kick it off a little bit, make it a regular thing. I don't really want to do it unless we're going to be able to do it on a weekly basis, because I just hate that inconsistency. I don't think it works well with viewers. Sometimes they can tune in, other times they can't. So I prefer the consistency. But of course, beggars can't be choosers either, so I might not have a choice. Let's get this piece put on. And then the back piece, okay. So this is what we've got so far. That camera. That's pretty clear instructions for a cheap set. I've had some that's such guesswork. It takes a large glass of red wine to get through. Yeah, it's a good show. I don't drink anymore, Sarah, as you might know, but I was a huge fan of red wine when I was. I'm going to try and see if I can work out why this camera isn't working. It's kind of okay for time. Why is it not staying connected? This is what we've got so far. So I'm going to leave in and then coming back in. So you have to forgive the fact that I got a really small screen at the moment. Okay. Let's see if that is better. I don't know why it was switching off. I thought maybe the holder I had in was maybe pressing the buttons or something, but didn't seem to be the case. So I don't know. Maybe it was just, I don't even want to try and pretend to know. It's just technology sucks. Move this back just slightly. You see the whole tray then. Not there's really anything to see apart from some Lego pieces, but there you go. Yeah, so hello. Okay, just checking my audio is still fine. I knocked the microphone in a couple of times. So guys, if you're tuning in now, I can see there's a few people watching that aren't commenting. Let us know in the comments what you're up to. What have you been building recently, if you build Lego at all? What is your favorite sort of Lego theme? Are you a Star Wars guy like myself? Do you like other themes? Do you just kind of buy what you like the look of? let us know, guys, and we can talk about it. And more importantly, do you like non-Lego building blocks? I know, Sarah, you've answered that question, if you're still there. But I think you're right. I think it is really just about the look. I mean, if it looks good, within reason, I don't see any reason why not to try and build it. Try something different. Some of these building techniques, I will say, are kind of odd. The way they ask you to build this stuff is very different to the way Lego would. Because you're effectively kind of having floating pieces. Catch my drift for certain points in time. We're having to connect things to something that's not connected to anything. But yeah, I think what you said is right. These instructions are actually pretty clear. I would rather in book format, because otherwise I gotta either keep doing this and unfolding and folding back up. I know that's a bit of a first world problem, but otherwise you've got the whole thing open, or you're just flicking back and forth. We are trying to unfold the whole thing. It's kind of weird. Connect this up to there. That's his back. Pretty cool, actually, because I didn't realize there was going to be much on the back. So it's just going to be kind of plain at the back. I didn't question it really. There's no other pictures of this pattern. I've seen one picture on all four sides of the box. So, but coming together quite well, actually. It looks pretty cool so far. A little bit of splash of different colors. The colors, I will say, the colors aren't as bright. They're more pastel-y and kind of muted. Like if we use that green, for example, there's kind of almost pastel-y and muted, whereas on here, you can see it's like an electric green. Same with all those colors, actually. So not quite as stand out. But the colors on the sticker, particularly of the rainbow, are quite bright. So I think that might look a bit mismatched when we come to do it. That's right, when we come to put the stickers on. The one thing I completely forgot to get, again, because of being last minute and disorganized, just being like, right, I'm going to do a live stream. Oh, let's set up a thumbnail. Oh, let's do this. Oh, wait, the time I set to do it is like in 20 minutes. So for those reasons, I'm in a position where I haven't even got myself a drink. I'm really thirsty. So again, if I had a co-host along for the ride, I could just nip off and grab myself a quick drink, but such is life. Yeah, and yeah, the stickers are a bit, I mean, the stickers are kind of not like Lego stickers at all. I mean, they're printed clear. I can't remember the last time I put Lego stickers on anything, but I don't ever remember any sort of clear ones. I might be wrong. I always remember Lego ones kind of having, being either full color, the whole sticker is a full color, so there is no background, or the background is kind of white or whatever. But these ones are kind of see-through. So as you pull them off the sheet, there's a little bit of an outline around the outside of them, and it's clear. So these are kind of like stickers I would, find on a kid's toy. I mean, I suppose this is a kid's toy, but just, like an action figure, or like if you were decorating a pencil case or something like that. Those kind of stickers, that's the only thing I can think of that I liken them to. So definitely the stickers aren't as good quality as the Lego ones, but they are relatively easy to put on. And they kind of got a shiny gloss to them, which the Lego ones don't tend to have. and they're easy to reapply because I put one on. I put on a little bit of SQF, went back and changed it, and it looks fine. Whereas I know with the Lego ones, when you try to peel them off to relocate them, if ever you had to do that, it doesn't work particularly great. So far, am I enjoying the build? Yes. It's very different. Like I said, some unusual pieces, way more unusual pieces in this set than any of the Blocktech sets I've done before. And this kind of gets me as well, that I think is kind of strange, that the way when they're asking you to build like a piece like this, like a little subsection, if you like, it's not straight. I don't know, maybe Lego do the same thing, but normally you'd have it so that it's like straight, and the angles stay the same all the time. So this orange piece here, when it goes on, it'd be on the same angle, but they flip the angle. That makes sense. So it's kind of that way instead of that way. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but you can make it a little bit difficult to kind of follow along what it is you're supposed to be doing, but not a huge issue. It's coming along quite nicely. Like I said, the main thing I think at the moment, just at a glance, is that kind of green. It reminds me of like a mushy pea green. Sarah, you'll get it. It's like mushy peas green as opposed to like bright green. Timmy, what's up, mate? How's it going? Thanks for joining. Yeah, Timmy, I know you refer to it as fake Lego. I know it as something different. I think it might be perhaps it's a US thing, but because we don't really get fake Lego here, I've never seen in a shop or anywhere really, like a fake version of Lego where it's like Lego, but it's not Lego, as in like it's pretending to be Lego. It looks like Lego, or it's it's got the Lego brand, but it's not actually Lego product, that kind of thing. We don't really get that here in the UK. We have other brands that make Lego, and in a lot of cases they've been making bricks as long as Lego have, or with Blocktech have been making sets that I've seen in the UK for a long time. I want to say at least 10-15 years. So it's not like so I don't call it fake. I know what you're getting at, though, because I know you do a lot of these kind of fake Lego building sets, and it gets obviously people in because obviously they think that's what a lot of people kind of refer to it as. But for me, it's just another brand, especially because sets they're making, and they're not trying to make like sets that are like Lego. They're not trying to do like a cheap version of Ninjago or a cheap version of Star Wars. They don't do it. They kind of do their own thing. So a bit like Lumi Bricks, I guess. But even with Lumi Bricks, they make like sets that look a lot like what do you want to call them? Sets that look a lot like the kind of town square. What's it called? The ones that you connect together to make a. I mean, I don't collect that kind of stuff, but you connect them together to make a larger set, or make a town or a street, whatever they're called. They make stuff that's very similar to that, Lumi Bricks. So in that case, I would say that's kind of similar to, what Lego does. But with Blocktech, they don't really. I've never seen anything that they've made that looks like or supposed to look like, or is even similar to a theme. Like I had that dinosaur monster truck. I haven't seen Lego do anything like that personally. And obviously I've never seen anything like this in Lego, so it is unusual. But anyway, that's a tangent. But yeah, just generally is interested, Timmy. What do you what do you feel about them? Do you build them just because it's good content, or do you genuinely like those kind of sets? I mean, I got this one for free, so it's kind of like a no-brainer. And it's part of my job to kind of experiment with these products and kind of talk about them and know them. So within reason, if it was a £50 set, they might not let me sort of take it home. But if it, for a few quid, we can kind of do it. So I got Malfoy Manor. I remember you saying Malfoy Manor Amazon sale. I'm looking forward to building it. Just built the small Hedwig, which is also top heavy like the bigger one, so it's propped up. Annoyed they didn't sort that, to be honest. Oh, okay. What's up, Ultra? So the Malfoy Manor, I haven't seen that because I don't really know much about Harry Potter. I probably know as much about Harry Potter as you know about Star Wars, Sarah, but I've only ever seen the films once each, and that was back when they were on VHS. I never saw them in the cinema, I don't believe. Might have seen the last one in the cinema, but I don't know. Like, I've never read the books, and I don't really know a lot about it. Until the film came out, I'd never even heard of Harry Potter, to be honest with you. So I don't know a lot about it. I know the Malfoys are like kind of the bad guys with the white hair. I know that much. But yeah, I didn't realize they had a set. There was a Malfoy Manor set out there. And of course, if you've got that in the Amazon Prime Day deals, I'm assuming that's fantastic. How much do you get off it, if you don't mind me asking? Like, 'cause I don't know how much that would even be worth, how much you got it for. So I'm guessing like, I don't know, £100 set, and you got it for like 70 or something. Yeah. But yeah, that's annoying about the Hedwig. I remember seeing, is it the bigger Hedwig that's got like all the scrolls and the bottles and stuff around it? Because Hedwig is the owl, right? But yeah, I don't remember there being a smaller version. I remember a bigger version with like a bunch of like extra bits and pieces that you could build, like potion bottles and stuff like that. Maybe I'm backing up the wrong tree, but yeah, that sounds pretty cool. But yeah, it is annoying, and it's quite unusual for Lego to make a mistake like that. I mean, obviously with Star Wars sets, they make like inaccuracy issues, and sometimes it's a bit fragile. But nothing like that where it's kind of like weighted wrong so it won't stand up on its own. That I've never really seen from Lego. I mean, they don't make a lot of stand-in sets, so apart from maybe the buildables and stuff like that. So mostly ships and stuff, which just kind of lay flat. But 130, you paid 99. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah. I'm not going to try and work out what percentage that is off, but yeah, awesome. So are you going to build it? What's your situation with building? Do you just like to sit, watch some telly, watch some Harry Potter, I guess, in that case, and build? Do you build along with family and friends, or your little ones? Or I say little ones, I don't know how old your children are, even if you've got any. Or, are you going to watch a live stream and build? Love for you to come on and do a build stream with us, even if you don't want to show your face. Just join in the chat. That'd be cool. Just let me know. Hit me up on Instagram. But other than that, yeah, really hope you enjoy the build. I'm interested to kind of see it afterwards. Heads are separate. The forks had a solid neck, so it's balanced. But my big Hedwig is headless currently. The forks had a solid neck. I'm not sure what you mean by that. You've written it like Guy Fawkes, so I'm guessing, is that a character from Harry Potter or a different owl? Trouble is the heads are separate. Fawkes and I'm not really sure what you mean there, Sarah, but sorry if I'm being dumb. I mean, oh, okay. Fawkes is the phoenix. Fawkes is the phoenix. Trouble is, as I said, the phoenix had a solid neck, so it's balanced. Wait, so you... Okay, so is it a set where you get Hedwig and Phoenix or Fawkes, and you can swap the heads? Is that what you mean, or... The trouble is the heads are separate. I'm assuming you don't buy them separate. Or you build them separate and then connect them up. Yeah, but they should still have fixed that. If you're saying that might be why there's a problem, because, it stands up and then you put the head on and it doesn't, that's still a Lego issue. I mean, you might not be saying it's not, but that's still, the fact that you build it separate shouldn't be a reason for it to be unstable. That kind of sucks. but I don't know. I think the Phoenix, if I know, again, on my limited knowledge of Harry Potter, is the like a red and orange thing that knocks about in. What's the name of the main wizard? Oh, Dumbledore. Is that the creature that knocks about in Dumbledore's house? No, his house, his study. If I think of the same thing, probably not. Why have I totally missed a piece here? Nothing. They just haven't told me to put that piece on. That's weird. Yeah, so this is one thing I will say about BlockTech is that sometimes the build instructions are inaccurate. So I'm looking at it now, and there's a piece here on the kind of underside. So I've put this piece on here with the purple paint, and then all of a sudden this piece just appears. And it's in grey on there when it's been done. It's highlighted as black, but it doesn't show you adding the piece like it does every other piece. It's just randomly there. When in the previous picture it's not, and then the next picture is. I mean, that piece is in the list of pieces that are going to be attached, but it still does show them all either being connected if it's single, or connected in a separate box and then connected if not. It didn't show me either of those things. I'm also conscious of the fact that the way this is built, one of his hands is longer than the other, which kind of don't seem right. But I'm just checking the instructions now, and it is right. So like one of his hands comes, you can kind of see it comes down here at the end of this kind of arm, if you like. So you see it from the side, and it's just a kind of like a hand. Whereas on this side, you've got this kind of, I suppose maybe it's supposed to represent like a wristwatch or a piece of like technology, or just, I don't know, funky like this side of him is. But it makes it long. It makes it longer. So I'm surprised they didn't add like another stud in there on that side, just so that the length was the same. That's kind of weird that they've done it that way. Just want to double check it to make sure. No, that is right. Okay. I mean, obviously it's clearly not going to be symmetrical anyway, but the legs obviously are the same height. I suppose they have to be to stand. So I wasn't expecting it to be fully symmetrical, but in the picture on the box, you can really tell. I mean, I suppose, yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I'm just being finicky when I probably don't need to be. No, two sets. Forks is like one piece, so it's solid. The neck are ball joints, so it topples. Yes, it's Dumbledore's bird. Oh, okay, Dumbledore's bird. All right. So Forks is like one piece, so it's solid. Oh, okay. So I'm with you. So so you weren't making reference to the same set. You were just saying that because it's built differently to that set, that bird. It's got one of those ball joints for a neck, and those ball joints, yeah, they can get weaker over time. I built a black Yoshi for Kirsty using the instructions I found, because they don't make they make small Yoshis, but this Yoshi is actually quite big. It's probably about the height of this box, which is about the length of my hand. It's quite a tall build. I'm trying to see what it's on scale with, but anyway, it's quite a tall kind of Yoshi, like kind of, you can hold his body in your hand, just about grip his body. He's quite a big build, and Lego haven't done one like that, so I did one from Rebrickable, and it's in green, but I managed to order all the parts and find all the parts in black, what should have been green, and build it, and it looks pretty good. It's got one of those ball joints as well, and because the head is really heavy, it can fall down sometimes. I find with that ball joint, because the way that ball joint is done is that to have his head up in the upright position, the ball joint has to be stretched to the furthest to the side, if that makes sense, rather than the middle. So if you were having a ball joint that was stood up like this, then it's in its kind of main position, whereas the way the ball joint works in the Yoshi is that the ball joint is sideways. So if his head was out straight, he'd be looking down, so you got to tilt it back. And what I do find is when you tilt his head too far forward, it gets to a point and then goes loose and then kind of hangs. But as long as you got it in the upright position, it's kind of leaning back on the other bits of Lego. So I think what they've done maybe with the Hedwig is they've got it so that ball joint is upright, so that when he's in that middle part where it's probably loosest, it's going to just fall forward or backwards. So maybe there's a way you can change. You shouldn't have to do this, but if you look on Rebrickable, sometimes they have in there, find the set and then look at alternate builds. And sometimes they have in there a fix for things like that, particularly if it's a known issue. I don't know whether it is, whether it's just yours or whatever. So your two options are you can either swap it out for a new ball or a new ball joint for the neck, which might be tighter. Sometimes it can be just the ball, sometimes it can be the joint, sometimes it can be both. I've done that in the past with the set where I think I bought a second hand and the ball was loose, so I replaced both, and actually the replacement ball was fine in both of the joints. It was just that one ball. I think it'd been used so much that it kind of worn away a little bit. So it could be that if you've bought the set new, which I assume you have, that shouldn't be happening still. You could, so there's a third option. You could write to Lego or email Lego and say that this is an issue, and they might send you out. Well, I'm pretty sure they will. I'm like 99% sure they'll send you out replacement parts. Sometimes they'll send you the whole bag, but sometimes they'll send you just those if you have parts that are damaged, and you can obviously take pictures. Just say the head's wobbly. They like the feedback, especially when it's a set like that where they can improve in the future. Of course, that set's probably finished now or retired or whatever, but they could still like the feedback. So that's your second option. I mean, you could potentially do all of these, but the other way is that you can slightly change the build yourself. So change the build so the ball joint is on the side, so that when the head is up in the upright position, especially if you're not going to be moving around a lot, it's leaning on itself. That could be worth doing if I get a chance to have a look at it myself. I mean, I'm no expert, but there may be a workaround for it. I'll have a look and let you know. But that is really frustrating. You've paid, good money for a set like that, and you expect good quality. And again, this is another reason why sometimes Lego shouldn't be surprised that people are looking elsewhere and looking at other brands, other sets, because they can make mistakes like that. Like I said, I've never had anything that serious in a set that I've purchased, but I know it does happen. So I really wanted to make this an hour stream, and I know we had a little bit of time messing around at the beginning, but I also don't want this to be a long stream, so I'm going to try and I feel like I've gotten nowhere with the build. I feel like I've got almost as many pieces now as I had to start. But and I've only got his head left to do, so his head is actually quite big in comparison to his body, but I should be a little bit further along by this point. So that camera seems to be staying on fine now, so I don't know what that was all about. So again, like I said, guys, it's not always the person. Sometimes it's just the technology, because I literally left the studio and came back in, didn't press any of the buttons, and this time it's staying on fine. I didn't do anything. I literally left the studio, came back in, nothing else. So I didn't do anything different, didn't connect differently, didn't press any buttons, just left the studio, came back in. It'll automatically save on StreamYard. It takes you back in to the studio the same way as you left. So the same setup on the screen, as you can see with that one big. I didn't have to redo any of that. It just automatically just takes it back to how you had it last, which is great for StreamYard. One of the good things I'll say about him. But it also doesn't explain why. It also makes me wonder why the camera didn't work the first time. It kept timing out, and now it seems to be fine. So yeah, it does get frustrating, because sometimes you feel like when it comes to these technical difficulties, I know we all get them, which again is evidence that it's not necessarily about the person. Sometimes you feel like you want to get better, be better. I was on a stream. I popped onto Sean's stream. He was doing, the ACOB did a build stream here. He was building his Jabba Sail badge, and wait a second, make sure I got the right one here. Oh, I didn't realize there's two types. Oh, okay. So there's two different ones. One's higher than the other. Okay, hopefully I got the right one. That means I might use the wrong one here somewhere. Yeah, it does. Okay, so I should have used the lower one there again. I don't notice that one I did. So there's two very similar bricks in this. Two types of brick in this set that are very, very similar. And I didn't notice the difference. I'm going to show you guys now on camera. So these two are actually very different. Well, not very different. One kind of, if I can put it on my hand, that might be better. You can see this one, the kind of nodule rises up just a little bit more than the other one. You can kind of see there from the profile, it's not the best angle, especially on a hand as opposed to, but I'd use the wrong one in an element here, which meant I was unable to complete another stage because I didn't have enough of the piece I wanted. But thankfully I noticed just in time. So what was he saying? Yeah, so Sean was doing a live stream and I'd just gotten in from work. So it was like, I don't know, I want to say like midnight, maybe closer to 1. And I saw that he was building and I thought, right, I'll check this out while I'm kind of winding down from work, because I'd been in work for like 9 hours or so. Finished very, very late at like midnight by the time I sort of cycled home, which obviously is quite a rigorous cycle home of 3 miles. I was still quite pumped, so I'm not going to eat or anything at that time of night, but obviously just wanted to be able to sit and wind down, so and not be up all night. So I saw he was building, and then I saw that he threw the link out for people to join. So I just thought, well, I'm not doing anything else. I'm kind of join the stream and see what's going on, say hello to some people. And he was having an issue with the build. Sorry, he was having an issue with the build. He was having, I wouldn't say a technical difficulty, but he was talking with I keep taking this piece off and then putting the same one back on, the same wrong piece back on. It's really difficult to get off. Where he wanted to add an extra camera to be able to film himself. And with StreamYard, you have to pay to do that. So you have to kind of do it manually with another device. But there is a way to do it. So if you've got a webcam and you go in on the same, because it only lets you have one camera from one device, if that makes sense. But what, and I've heard of this, but I'd never obviously tried it myself. What CPA had suggested was to join the stream in incognito mode with that extra camera. And that would assume then that it's a different person joining. So it's not coming from the same IP. And therefore you can have that, you could use that extra camera. Again, I haven't tried it since. My issue with it is that I've got a webcam which I can connect to my I can connect to my device, but that webcam needs to connect in where I connect my mic. So what I need to really do is get a second. I need to get an adapter for the. What am I doing now? I'm getting confused. I need to get an adapter for my Chromebook, so where I connect the microphone, you can kind of see it here up on the platform in the camera. where I connect the microphone, there's only one USB, that's what was the word I was looking for. There's one USB connection. Most laptops would have two, but this is a Chromebook, so it's only got one. So you can get an adapter where you can put two in. And then that would obviously be for the webcam. So yeah. Anyway, ignoring the chat for a while. But yeah, sorry, going back to what you were saying about the Hedwig. Let's have a look. I did build with my kids. They're grown and flown now, not local. I built when I watch streams or listen to Audible. Oh, there you go. So that's interesting. What do you listen to on Audible? Sarah, I tried listening to a few Star Wars novels when I was kind of reading a lot of novels, and people suggested to me get Audible, and I just couldn't get along with it because I don't know what it is. Maybe much as my mind just wanders, and that happens when I'm reading, but more so when I was listening. I mean, I remember I was on a trip and I was listening to Master and Apprentice, which is about kind of Count Dooku and Qui-Gon Jinn's backstory. And I remember I'd gotten I was on a flight and I'd gotten pretty much the whole way there. It wasn't a long flight. And I was conscious of the fact that I'd listened to nothing, even though it'd been playing in my head, in my earphones. I'd listened to nothing. I'd taken in none of the story. The only time I could really concentrate on the story on Audible was when I was sitting there doing nothing, in which case I may as well have been flicking through a book. So people are like, yeah, you can listen to it while you're driving to work. And I'm like, well, I don't drive to work, so that'll never work. So I couldn't connect with it. When I'm cycling, I do listen to music, but again, I don't really connect with it. So I feel like if I'm trying to concentrate on a book, it could be quite dangerous while driving. So while cycling. So there's idiots out there all the time. So the last thing I want to be doing is trying to focus on the story. So I'm more of a book guy, like a physical book guy. And even then, I'm not the greatest at kind of focusing. So it was interesting to see what you listen to, particularly when you're building. But I build and then watch streams. I just got Bob Mortimer's new book, so I'll build that while listening to that. Bob Mortimer's new book, right? Great. So we sell that in my stores. I work in a store that sells books. I can't remember what the title of the book is because I don't read his. I know his last one was like a yellow one with like an avocado on or something like that. And his newest one, I believe, has got a picture of a CCTV camera or something. But I've heard they're pretty good. They're quite popular. I launched only a couple of days ago as well, actually. So I'm guessing you bought that like brand new. So yeah, let me know what it's like. But yeah, hopefully you watch if you decide to build and watch a stream. Hopefully it's one of our streams. But if you ever feel like you want to pop on and build along and join the chat, even if you don't want to show your face, just kind of conversate. Let me know. We can sort something out. But yeah, definitely check out Rubricable. Definitely contact Lego customer services. They're fantastic. You can just send them an email and just say, look, I've bought this set. This is the set number. Initially, I would just do that and say the head is really wobbly. I feel like the ball joint and the neck joint. Is this a problem you're aware of? Is there any chance you can send me out the replacements? They may then. Usually they're pretty good at just fixing it and they'll send it out to you straight away. But if they may ask for pictures, they'll have a picture of like the set or it's not really much you can show them in a picture that's going to demonstrate it, but sometimes they just want to prove that you have actually got the set and you're not just looking for them to send you parts, that kind of thing. So if you bought it from the Lego store, that'll be in your if you give them your information, your insider number or whatever, they'll be able to look up and see that you purchased it and send it to you out. But again, look at Rubricable and you can go, when you find the set, you can go down, I think it's a picture of like a jigsaw piece or something like that, I believe, or it's a basket or something, or a trolley. You click on that and it'll give you alternate builds. Sometimes in there people put fixes. I'm not sure about that set. I can look without going off this stream, but I believe sometimes in there they put fixes for sets. So yeah. But yeah, go and check that out. But I'll try and look it up if I get a chance. Hive, how are we doing, mate? Listening and working. Hopefully not using that big drill again, mate. Otherwise you won't be able to hear much of anything. But yeah, it's been great to watch. I'm still waiting for the next vlog to come out because those were pretty cool. But getting it in little clips and snaps like you have been with the using the drill and whatever else, taking apart those kitchen units or whatever, those have been pretty cool. Smokey, Hey, yo, Cool Han. Hope you're enjoying your evening. How did you get that set? Not evening just yet. Well, I say that. It's 20 past 6, so I suppose it is. I got this set for free. This set is called the... Why am I'm facing it to the microphone like an idiot, like this, pointing at the microphone. Can you see in this small pic, the small one in here, this small camera? Here's I'm pointing at that like an idiot. So it's called the... Oh, it's too high. It's called the Pop Drip Bear. And I thought it actually looked pretty cool and a little bit different, a little bit unusual. So I've decided I'm going to be building this little guy. And this is what I've got so far. Just gotten carried away talking about all sorts of random nonsense and a little bit behind. I only wanted this to be an hour, so I think I'm going to try and aim for an hour and a half instead. Kirsty's due home around about 7, just after 7, so I want to cook tea. Or start cooking tea at least by the time she gets in. So 1:30-ish. I might have to call it 1:45 at the latest. But yeah, so I got it from work. We get the opportunity to bring home products. You know, if it's a book or something, you know, you can't sort of bring it home, read it, and then take it back in. It generally needs to be something you can demonstrate and stuff. So in this case, I'll put this guy like at the till area with these sets to show what it looks like when it's built. Sometimes it can be something we can do there and then, like like a Connect 4 game or something like that. You don't need to take that home. You just open it and play with it, like a remote control car, that kind of thing. I think when it comes to bringing stuff home, generally, you know, we don't get many things like this where you can bring it home, demo it, take it back in, and obviously I can do it on a stream because it's like, you know, Lego adjacent and buildable. Generally, it's more art-based stuff. So like if I've done like a cross stitch using, so this cross stitch is the only one I've got to hand. So this is a cross stitch that I did, and you can just see if you go up close, if anyone knows what cross stitch is essentially just a series of crosses between fabric. So this fabric has got a hole in the 4 corners, which makes it like a square grid pattern. You can't see the holes because you've got to find them with a needle, which is part of the art, I guess. But each of those little nodules you see is actually a piece of material crossed over left to right and then right to left. So if you look close enough, the camera won't pick it up, but they're basically just little tiny little crosses, and that's a stitch, and therefore a cross stitch. But you can find patterns like this. Like this is my own design. This is a pattern I found online. But I have done my own patterns of things like lightsabers and stuff. But yeah, this I did for my daughter. She was really into Mario and like Goombas. So I did like 3 of these. I did a Stitch one for Kirsty. She's a Disney fan. I did a Grogu one for me because I'm a Star Wars fan. So they're all like little cute characters from each of those. So this stuff in the background, this is actually inside a coaster. Is like I bought these coasters you can put your own thing in, and so it's got like plastic on the back. This cloth is called Ada cloth, and it's designed specifically for cross stitch. Yeah, and just find the right pattern colors and follow the pattern. And it's pretty straightforward if you've been doing it as long as I have. But that's going off the point. The point is that we sell this cloth, we sell the needles, we sell the thread, we sell, you know, most of the products you use to make something like this, apart from these coasters. So I could come home, do that, take the materials from work, and then go and display it in work so people can show this is what you can do. Maybe not this one specifically, but I've done like larger ones. Like I did a huge Harry Potter one, so you like that, Sarah. Actually, it's right. Is it in that bag? No, it's not. I've taken it downstairs. Remind me next time I'm on a live stream, Sarah, and I'll dig out the Harry Potter one I did. So with the Harry Potter one, I did the Harry Potter lettering, which I followed a pattern for, but I designed the color and the pattern that's inside Harry Potter thing myself. I think I've shown it on stream before, but anyway. So yeah, so that's an example of the kind of things we do because we sell that. Same with like paint, oil paint. We do like canvases, paint pens, art pens, coloring books, all that kind of stuff. So anything you can bring home within reasonable cost, use, you know. So I've brought home, like we had a Star Wars coloring book once. So I brought the Star Wars coloring book home. I essentially had it for free. I colored it in like really good design, like really well done with really good coloring pencils and stuff. Cut it out, put it in a frame and put it in the store with the coloring books and a set of coloring pencils to show, right, this is what you could do. And then I kept the rest of the coloring book I wouldn't say as like a present or payment, but I'm not going to do every single page. So that was kind of, the benefit for me. So the benefit for me in this case was that, I get to build this on stream, have fun building it without actually buying it, as long as it's going back into the store. And then when I do things like this, once we've had them up on display for a while, I'd bring them home and I keep them, or they stay in the store on display. But I get to keep like the rest of the thread and any other unused materials. So it's like, kind of a win-win. And I actually, if it's a hobby that I enjoy anyway, then effectively you're getting to do your hobby for free, and sometimes getting to keep the result for free as well. So anyway, I must press on with this bear or I'm going to be here all night. Okay, so what are we saying? Long shoe. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I thought I had a picture of a CCTV camera on it, if I remember rightly, from looking at the new releases. I started listening when I could read. What? I started listening when I could read anymore. Had no idea I had. Oh, okay. So you struggle to read, right? Okay. Oh, that's a shame. Like cataracts. It's part of life. One I can see. Part of life, even though I can see. Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, I struggle with my eyes, as you probably know. And most of the time I'm wearing sunglasses. The only reason I'm getting away with it today is because I'm looking down, so there's no real light in my face for long periods of time, and I've got the cap on to shade the two key lights that I'm using, so you guys can see me and what I'm doing clearly. But I struggle then to look back at the screen for too long. What I really need to get, people keep telling me this, is need to get like light sensitivity glasses. But I've been looking and I can't seem to find, like, I'm seeing some for like a tenner and I'm seeing others for like £100, and I'm like, is there going to be that much of a difference in quality? Don't only be buying some cheap ones. I bought a pair from like Temu or something like that just to kind of see what they're like, and they just feel like, if anything, I feel like I'm straining my eyes more. I've been to have an eye test and I don't actually need, they said I'm on like a plus 0.5 or something like that, so I don't really need them that much. My eyesight's good enough that I don't really need glasses, even temporarily, or even just for reading or writing or anything like that. But it's the light that I struggle with. So if I'm sat in bed at night with my bedside lamp on like the lower setting, because it's dimmable, I can do cross stitching, I can do whatever, and I'm fine. But if I'm in like outdoors, if I'm in any other kind of environment, I find myself falling asleep, even if I'm not tired, because I guess I'm squinting too much. And I've always had a sensitivity to light anyway. My face is always like kind of wrinkled up without glasses. So most of my wrinkles that I've got, which I don't have many for some of my age, from screwing my face up to the light. So yeah, I practically have to wear sunglasses all the time, all year round. I'm wearing them cycling to work, even when there's no sun out, just because it's bright. And that becomes a problem when I'm doing streams as well, unfortunately, because you're kind of looking at a screen for long periods of time. And then I got the lights on as well. So you guys can see me, but it then affects my vision. So, but yeah, I'm really going to try and jog this along a little bit now, so that thanks though about the cross stitch. It's one of my other hobbies. Like I said, Lego, I was at the point where Lego was too expensive to be doing all the time. I was kind of buying a set, building it, and then like, I need another set. So I haven't always been like I am now, where they go in the backlog. So I was looking for other hobbies, and I think there was just one time at work where I knew somebody else who'd done some cross stitching. Oops, put that piece on too early. Somebody else had done a cross stitch, and I never really knew much about it, and they were telling me about it and said it was quite easy, and I thought, okay, so I gave it a try one time, and I was actually demonstrating it whilst working. So I was at the sort of till and chatting with customers, and interacting with customers as is part of my job. And whilst doing that, I was doing this cross stitch, and it was great because people were asking me about it, and I was like, right, okay. And then I managed to like sell a few more of those products from discussing it, and I actually really enjoyed it. And I thought, okay, so I'm going to give this a try outside of a work environment. So I took one home to do. I kind of bought the items myself and took home and did, and I found myself thoroughly enjoying it. So I was like, right, that's it. Now I'm hooked on cross stitch. And that was it, basically. It's always been like essentially like a cheaper hobby for me to Lego, an alternative to Lego. I mean, I've got other hobbies as well. I do like diamond art and things like that, but I think cross stitch is the one because you can be quite creative. It's very similar to Lego in that you can be quite creative with it. You can follow other designs, or you can make your own designs. It's relatively cheap. It doesn't take up a lot of space. Like I've got all of my cross stitch stuff fits all in one tiny little drawer or a little bag. You can take it with you. So if I want to go on like a short trip somewhere, if I'm going on a trip for work, or if I'm flying, I did some cross stitch when I flew to Brickworld. You can get everything in a tiny little, like a little zip case thing that I've got, which is kind of flat, depending on the size of the cross stitch. So it's very relatively cheap as well. The cost compared to like doing a Lego set, for example, and for how long it takes. So cost to time, in terms of the amount of time you'd be cross stitching for that and how much it's cost you, it's like probably one of the littlest. So with a Lego set, you spend £100 on a Lego set, and maybe let's say you're building it for, I don't know, 5 hours. That's like, I don't know, £20 an hour. Whereas cross stitch, it works out more like, I don't know, 10 pence an hour, because of how cheap the materials are. Again, depends on what you're doing exactly, but how cheap the materials are, and then you factor in like how long it takes to do a pattern. So like these didn't take long. This didn't take long. I mean, it's probably like altogether there's probably like £1 worth of material, if that. But I think this probably took me about maybe an hour or two to do. So, it's pennies. I'm just realizing that I'm actually missing a piece from the set. So you can see in here that there's one of these kind of white quarter circle studs, 1x1 studs. There's also supposed to be one here, which is the bit I'm currently doing. I can't find it. So I think they've shorted me by one white 3/4 stud. So I'm a little bit annoyed about, because I'm just double checking in the bags. I'm pretty sure this happened last time when I did it. Oh, hang about. No, I'm just an idiot again. But I am pretty sure this happened last time when I did the Block Tech set. I had like 3 or 4 extra of some random piece, and I didn't have all of the piece I was looking for. But in this case, it's just me. Right, let's attach that to the side of his head. Now let's move on to the next piece. Oh, it's just gone 1/2 past. Right, okay, I really have got a motor here. I don't want to say I need to stop talking. I was chatting to somebody recently, not connected to the stream in any way, but oh no, have I got the wrong piece? Used the wrong piece somewhere. I must have, because that one sticks up more than I should. I couldn't have, because they all fit on fine. Let's just be another one in there somewhere. Ah, that's right, I'm using the wrong pieces. So yeah, anyway, what was I saying? I was chatting to somebody, and they were talking about the stream. I forget who it was. It might be my mum, but she was saying, like, it might be my dad actually, because I think no one's ever watched the stream. But he was saying, I don't know how you can just talk. I mean, he knows how I can talk, because I can talk, but he was kind of, I wouldn't say fascinated, but he was quite surprised at like the ability to just come on a stream and just, interact and not have like any kind of script, and just kind of go off what is being discussed by the people in the chat. I mean, obviously the main topic of focus here is set I'm building, but I probably haven't spent all that much time talking about the set itself. But yeah, seem to be quite interested in that whole thing of just coming onto a stream and just talking with nobody, effectively, and just bouncing off the chat. And I said, well, the thing is, if you haven't got people in the chat to kind of, you know, shift the focus or give you something to talk about, then it does get difficult. Because I think when I did my first like live stream, that was definitely the case. I mean, I managed to do it, but I feel like it is a little bit about being able to be the kind of person who can blag something and, you know, has got enough to talk about and can kind of make things up on the spot if needs be. So I don't know whether we'd call that a talent, but there is an element of that I think that is quite important. You need to be able to do that if you're doing something like this, because you could be faced with there being nobody out there watching. I mean, a stream like this, yes, would like people to watch and kind of do need it for all the reasons I just said, but it's not as important, if you like, for there to be somebody there as it would be in the show, as in the live stream show, which is why we have why does that look like that when I haven't built that yet? That's strange. So is that I jumped a step? No, I haven't jumped a step. Oh, I have jumped a step. So when you're on a live stream show, it's different because you know the show is about the people who are watching effectively. So you kind of need people to be there. You want people to be there, and obviously I want people to be here as well. That's not really what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that it's less restrictive, I feel. Yeah, I think they've done it to me again. I think they've added a piece on without telling me to add a piece on. If we just double check. No. They did tell me to put it on. I was just, again, being an idiot. They've asked me to put it on the side there. I completely missed it. Okay, so the instructions, in fairness, although I might have kind of inadvertently complained a couple of times, it's in every case I think it's been me just not paying attention. But yeah, so it's what I'm saying is that it's less important to have people here on this kind of stream than it is on the show. But that's not to say, you know, I don't want people to come and view. But what I was trying to explain to that person is that I was having a conversation with is it depends on the circumstance. Because if you're going to go and build a set anyway, my theory is if I'm going to build, like, if regardless of whether I did a live stream or not, I would have been building this set. The only choice I'm really making is, do I want other people to share that journey with me and watch it and, you know, perhaps get something out of it, or even if they're not interested in what I'm building, they can, you know, just engage and chat with people, because some people out there like to just have someone to talk to and someone to interact with at certain times. But that's an unusual technique. That's the buttons. But yeah, I'm going to be building it anyway, so I'm just thinking I either do that and just see if there's anybody out there who's interested in kind of joining me and watching what I'm doing and kind of having some fun, or I don't, and I just kind of build it on my own, watching something. And I guess, you know, yeah, okay, it might have been a little bit more interesting for me to sit and build something. Sit and build something and watch like a TV show or something. But
effectively the theory is that I'm going to be building it anyway, so I may as well let other people share in that experience. And then it's kind of irrelevant whether there's people there or not to some degree, because I dropped the stickers. Because I'm only doing what I would have done anyway. Like if I'd sat, let's say I'd watched a movie whilst building this set, there wouldn't have been anybody there for that either. So the result for me is the same. The result is that I've built a set, I've had fun building it, and I've got to learn a little bit about what I'm building. The added extra, if there are people here watching and interacting, is that you get to know a little bit more about what they're doing and what they're up to, and get to know a little bit about Harry Potter that you didn't already know and probably should know. Harry Potter sets. This is one thing this does happen in Lego, but doesn't happen very often. I've seen it maybe a couple of times in sets I've built, where the sticker, and this sticker is actually pretty cool in fairness. I did put it on wrong though, but I managed to reapply fine. Where the sticker goes over multiple pieces. You can see in the light there, when I hold it up to the light, that where the parts are underneath. And that sticker is probably covering in total, including those little drips on the bottom, probably covering about 7 or 8 pieces. So if I was ever to take this apart, that sticker would become kind of useless. I mean, I don't know who's taking their sets apart, especially these kind of sets, but just worth mentioning. But yeah, I remember seeing that in a Lego set. I can't remember which set it was I built. And I was like, that's really annoying, because I obviously have always been the type of person who will take my sets apart at some point. I knew I would, regardless of whether I was moving house all this time, which seems to be the main reason I was taking them apart. But to not have that option to do it, or in the case of that part, to be kind of limited, that was kind of annoying. Sorry about that. I was half asleep. Yeah, no worries, Sarah. It's fine. I appreciate you being here and watching. Totally get that. I crochet, knit, sew, rip paper collages. Oh, that sounds cool. Cycle jewelry into brochures. Oh, okay. Just love to be busy, but in downtime. Wait. Yeah, well, you would have made a perfect employee. Or, I don't know what your kind of background is, but a perfect manager or member of staff for the works, because, crochet is not something I've done. My daughter's recently learned to do it. My fiance Kirsty can crochet, and a couple of members of staff crochet, and they do a pretty good job of it. I don't actually know if I've got any crochet. I used to have some crochet things that I've had made for me in the background, whether they were made by my ex-colleague who was amazing at crochet, or whether it was from Kirsty, but I did have a couple of little Star Wars bits and pieces, and I still got them. They're just obviously not unpacked along with everything else. But yeah, so that kind of thing. Knitting, I do a little bit of sewing. I say sewing, for me, I don't know I suppose it is sewing. I don't make clothes or anything like that, but I'm really into, I collect patches, particularly Star Wars patches. So got quite a lot of, I've got a jacket, like a plain jacket that I bought just to sew patches onto. And I've sewn all those on myself. My brother is the captain for the Bearded Villains, which is almost like the 501st, like a charitable organization, but they do like charitable stuff, but they all got beards. You got to have a beard of a certain length to get into it. Long story short, they wear cuts like a biker gang or a bike motorcycle club. And he's a couple of years older than me, and he still takes his jacket whenever he has a new patch to put on, or he gets a new award or whatever it is. He still takes it to my mum to sew it on. And my mum always says to me, like, the fact that you do your own, even though nobody's ever really taught me how, I've just kind of self-taught myself to sew my own patches on. I was always quite, I wouldn't say proud of that, because, I'm an adult. So, but yeah, so it's like, I get a one-up on my brother. So if you're watching, shout out to Steve.
But yeah, you're an absolute mug, mate. And you can't even sew your own patches on yet. Give it a go, mate. It's not that hard. My brother's fairly artistic as well. Well, I say artistic, quite, I don't know if artistic is the word, but he's quite sort of crafty himself, so surprised he hasn't at least tried it. But yeah, that's the only kind of sewing that I've ever done to arrive at a point there. I do encourage my daughter to do her own sewing as well, for bits and pieces. She hasn't done a lot, some bits and pieces here and there. Another sticker going on. I got a few more stickers left, and I thought, one of them is the sunglasses. Okay, I missed that one from earlier. That's definitely got to be my favorite sticker for obvious reasons. Is that kind of sunglasses with a heart nose in between? Putting that one on now. That's cool. I think we're pretty much done, but we seem to have a lot of leftover pieces. It's quite surprising because some of them I haven't even used yet. What have I missed there then? Oh, it's at the back. No, I put the sticker on the wrong way. No, one is yet. Okay. Put the sticker on the wrong side like an idiot. So that should go there. Wait, did I put the sticker on the wrong side? No, I didn't. No, I have. No, it's this piece I've done wrong. So, see, the way they click everything around is really annoying. So that should be like that. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, that's right. So that should be like that. And then that connects on. Okay, so yeah, lots of spare pieces here. I mean, now looking at them, they're all pieces that I have actually used at some point. So then it's kind of understandable that I've got them. And I can't see any spaces where I would expect them to be. So therefore, I like to think that I have actually done this right. And there's no further steps. So that is it complete. Obviously, I've just got to pop the head on. I'm done. So, yeah. So what they don't have on these sets is like a full inventory. So, I mean, I never build like a Lego set, a normal Lego set, and check the inventory of all the parts. I just kind of build as I go along, and you kind of have set. But what you can do is you can go onto Bricklink and find out what spare parts you should have. So whenever I build a set with Lego, whether I do it digitally or with paper, what I'll always then do afterwards is I'll go onto Bricklink and it'll tell you what spares you should have had with that set, and I'll check them against the spares I've got. And I've something I've always sworn by, and the reason for that is because not whenever, but a few times I've done that and found that I've got, like, say, 2 more spares than I should have had. And then when I reviewed the build, I've realized they're actually missing. So I would say 100% of the time, in my experience, the spares on Bricklink are at 100% accurate. That's not always the case, I guess, for other people, but whatever spares I've got left are always the spares that Bricklink says you should have, which means I've done the build accurately. And obviously, so this is why when I was in Sean's stream the night before last, and he was saying that he had 3 Technic rods left, and I told him that on Bricklink it shows that you should only have 3 spares in total. That was kind of worrying. There's 127 of those Technic black rods in the set, in the Jabba Sale badge, and there should be 3 spare, which means there's 130 in total. So I thought, because considering he was quite early on in the build, for him to have 3 left over from 1 bag seemed quite excessive.
So I think he managed to find there was one extra. So we'll wait now and see when he finishes Jabba's Sale badge if he has 3 left over, and hopefully that'll prove my case that Bricklink is very accurate when it comes to the parts that you should have left over. But you don't have that with this, so therefore there's no way of me knowing really, without going back through the entire set again, if those parts should be spares or if they're just kind of they've been missed somewhere along the build, or if they never should have been in the first place. But looking at it, I think I would see on a set like this, if I was missing something, and I don't seem to be, there's no kind of exposed studs at all, which I think is pretty good. This is one of the things I'll say about this set, is there's no exposed studs. It's completely like a studless finish to some, well, where possible. It looks pretty cool. I didn't even notice this when I looked at the picture, but it's like one half of him is like a bear, and the other half of him is kind of like color stroke techno kind of style, like he's kind of half bear, half cyborg, which I think is pretty cool. I mean, I looked at it and it just looked like he had a bunch of stuff stuck to him, but I didn't really think about the fact that it's half and half. So I'll show it a little bit clearer on here. You can see one of his ears is white. It's got that shape, and it reminds me of something from, I think Disney did these kind of bear type creature characters. They were collectible bear type things. I can't remember what they're called, but it kind of got that kind of style to it, where it's got like these kind of rounded edges. You know, you got like a couple of the little things which represent like a tattoo. Even the back, he's got a little bit going on. He's got this kind of cyborg type foot. So it's kind of like half of him has been, it reminds me a little bit of that. I'm not sure, Fortnite, if is it, the game where they got that peely bone, the banana, where he's half banana and half kind of, you know, metal kind of thing. So it's kind of a little bit like that. It's kind of a, what do you call, like, what do you call it? Neo-punk type design. But yeah, really good. The only, like I said, the biggest frustration for me, the build instructions are better than they've been in for previous BlockTech sets, but they don't have a patch on the Lego ones. The design of them is pretty cool, relatively easy to follow along with, but there's a lot of points in there where it gets very complicated. They're trying to put too many pieces on at once. And again, if you're used to Lego, I'm used to this being a lot more complicated. But if you're being brought up in the Lego era, you'd find this quite complicated. And the fact that it's a 6+ set, I think that's kind of, I would have said more like 9+. Which doesn't say a lot for my level of ability, but I feel like there's just a lot going on, and the way it's colored is not great. So better than previous BlockTech sets, but could still go a long way to get match Lego, and obviously be in booklet form as opposed to a big sheet. Stickers in some ways better because they're kind of clear background stickers, easy to apply and reapply, but they're not like, and the colors on these are slightly better than I feel like Lego ones would be, but I don't feel like they're as good quality because they're like basically just like clear plastic. My biggest gripe about this set, the build was quite enjoyable, especially because I had you guys along for the ride, but the biggest gripe is the fact that the box shows very vibrant, particularly the orange and the green are very vibrant on this box, and it makes it look very kind of techno-y. You know, it's got that kind of graffiti style. In person, the green and the orange are very muted, particularly the green. The green is more like a pastel green, like a mushy pea green, as opposed to like a bright green, electric green. Orange is not too bad, but it's not quite as bright as the box. But the other colors are fine. The silver, the gold, the yellow is a kind of pastel yellow, which is fine. The stickers actually stand out slightly better on here than they do on the box. So overall, I would give this probably, I don't know, an 8 out of 10, because I think it actually looks pretty cool. This on your display, look, you know, you can tell it's supposed to be like a bear. It's an unusual style. I feel like somebody could have the recreation for this is good, that you can change out those blacks for like pink and then do half like, you know, the other half of just greebling in black or something like that. There's quite a lot you could do with this. The only problem is that I wouldn't be able to replicate this in Lego, which is what I was hoping I could do, because there's a lot of parts in here, more so than any other BlockTech set that I've done. There's a lot of parts in here that don't exist in Lego, so therefore it'd be difficult to recreate that. But in the same way, I also got to give it points for that, because for that reason, it stands out, and it's something that Lego can't necessarily do.
So I think, it has its pluses and its minuses, but overall, I want to say not a bad set. So we'll quickly go through the chat here because I see a few people have popped in. Typical that everybody's kind of joining now as we're finishing up, but I appreciate you guys popping along at all. Nice to have you along. Oh wow, so quite a few actually since the last time I looked. Jesus. So it was me and you, Sarah, pretty much for the whole stream, and then so I got Papa Trip, Cool Hand and Friends. Nice little surprise to find this stream today. Yeah, a little build stream. I'm gonna try and commit to doing one of these a week. I blew my load a week or so ago where I tried to do like 2 or 3 in a week. I'm gonna try and do one a week. I want to keep it to like an hour, maybe 2 hours, depending on the size of the build. And I want to try and do unusual things, not just your typical Lego sets. So there's more to watch because you ain't gonna see anybody else on the live stream. I'll challenge you to find anyone else building this. Certainly not before me. But you guys tell me, would you rather me just build a Star Wars set that you already know about and you've already seen a million times and you've seen reviewed? I don't open and bust open my sets like within an hour or so of buying them. And even if I did, I buy them when they're usually at their lowest value. So sometimes a year, sometimes 2 years, sometimes 3 years. And there's even sets that I've bought pre-loved or sealed years after they've retired. So there's no way that I'm going to be cracking open a brand new set and building it before anybody else. So the chances are, if you watch a lot of Lego, particularly Star Wars Lego content, you will have already seen what I'm building. That's why I've not really done that. I'll do rebrickables. I was told that the Millennium Falcon polybag that was given out for May the 4th, there's a rebrickable for that to build a Star Trek ship. I'm going to give that a go just because I was challenged to do it. So that'll be another one to look out for. That kind of thing. So something a little bit unusual. But if you guys say to me, look, I just want to see you building a classic Star Wars set or an old Star Wars set or, a Star Wars set that I've seen a million times before, let me know and I'll do that as well as. Yeah. But yeah, nice to have you with us, Papa Trip. And thanks for joining. We know who the favorite son is. Yeah, I don't know if I'd say the favorite son. He was the firstborn. I'm the middle child. But yeah, he's I just think he's convenient for him. Like when we moved out, me and my brother moved out. Actually, I moved out before my brother, even though I'm a couple of years younger than him. But he was still taking his washing back to my mum to do for like years afterwards. Whereas I was like, no, we've moved out. We're independent now. We're not. I'll go and visit it. One is one thing, but going and taking your washing there is like, but he's always been a little bit like that. So shout out to Steve. Torso Cracker, love the midday delights from the boys across the pond. Yeah, not midday for us, mate. But I wouldn't be able to do this if I was in work because it started at 5 o'clock. Normally 7, 8 o'clock is ideal time for me, but it's not ideal for Kirsty because that's when she comes home from work and we have time together. So really, if I'm not day off like I am today, the best time for me is kind of 10, 11 o'clock. She goes to bed quite early and I'm usually up till about midnight-ish, if not a little bit later. So that's usually the best time for me. And if I'm honest, if I'm going to do these regularly, it would be that time, which would probably suit the US a little bit as well. But just probably a bit too late for the UK guys, unfortunately. But yeah, people saying hello to each other, which is always good to see. Nimble Sauceman is back and he's saying evening chat, and it looks decent, to be fair. I think it looks pretty good, mate, I gotta say. Smokey saying hello to everybody. Oh, people saying hello to each other is great. I love to see that in the chat, and it just shows the strength of the community. I feel for outsider brands to succeed, they need to stay away from stickers. Yeah, I think I was, if I'm honest, looking at this set, they looked printed. But if I'd really thought about it, and used my head a little bit, I would have known they weren't, just because they overlap multiple pieces, and that wouldn't obviously happen with a print. Certainly not a flawless print like that. And I'm not talking like going from one piece to another like Lego does with a few tiles on a print. I'm talking about like, the sides of 4 or 5 pieces, which would never happen. Like this kind of thing here. This kind of cog thing here, you're on the side of about 6 different pieces there, which, that's never going to work as a print. The same with this one here. So if I'd really thought about it, I would have known I wasn't. But this one I think could have been printed, the eyes, because that's all on one piece. And this one as well. I mean, this one doesn't show any kind of outline. So I thought that was going to be printed. And that's probably what the part I was looking at.
But yeah, unfortunately, it is a sticker. But yeah, you're right. I think that's one way where Lego kind of, in some ways, stands out, both on stickers and printing. But yeah, it would put the price up. I'm holding on. Hope you and your family are thriving. Yeah, talking to each other, great. You build whatever you can get, Lego or otherwise. Oh, thank you. Nope, new different sets is so much more interesting than other repeated Star Wars builds. Well, there you go, great stuff. So I try to do either alternate builds or maybe an older set that's been around a long time and, you know, perhaps people new to the community wouldn't have seen. So if I built a set from like 1999 or 2000, that I can understand maybe doing a build stream for that, because some people might have missed out on that and not seen it. You know, trying to make my own mocks, I think that's a little bit different because that can take a long time when I've done my own mocks. I don't really plan them, but I just kind of build as I'm going, and it takes a while. The other thing is I've built sets, build in a bag. I've done blind build where I don't use instructions, just use thing. I've done those kind of builds. Those kind of things would be cool on a stream. So I feel like I want to try and do, if I'm going to do these build streams, it's got to be one of those kind of 5 things. It's either got to be a rebrickable, me doing my own mock, and then a non-Lego set, an older set, or like a challenge build where I'm just, you know, not looking at instructions, just looking at pictures and seeing how far I can get. But yeah, look, guys, that is it from me. We're just over 2 hours. I know if anybody's going back, please go back and watch the stream from the beginning if you get a chance, and share. I want to try and get my subs up, guys. This is one of the reasons I'm doing these smaller streams. My viewing hours are fantastic. This channel viewing hours are fantastic, particularly because of the show. But I really want to get new subscribers, and I'm struggling to do that. I know I need to put out shorts before anyone says it, but I really struggle with the whole editing process, and not because I can't do it, but because I don't have time. And I feel like spending an hour editing a short, it's not a good use of my time. I'd rather spend that hour chatting with you guys. So I rely on you guys to kind of share this stream, share Instagram, and get people to sub, and obviously check out the content that's here. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed as well. But yeah, any suggestions for what I can build, you know, what day is best, what time is best, let me know. Obviously I can't acquiesce to everything, but I try to get an idea from the people who tune in what would work better for them, and try to, you know, work around, you know, what I feel is a good time. If lots of people are saying this time is great, and I look at the analytics and it shows a lot more people tuned in or watch this, you know, back or whatever, then I know I did something right. But sometimes it's good to have that feedback as well. You know, so let me know, did this whole, you know, big camera on the build, small camera on me work? I'm really up for feedback, guys, to try to improve myself from that level of things. But if you guys can think of anything or any ways where I can improve my sub count for the channel, that's what I need to do right now. That's my goal, to get that sub count up. But yeah, lots of things planned for the channel. Keep an eye out. We've got right up to November planned for the show, which is every Sunday, 7 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. Eastern in the US. We've got Mavericks on this Sunday, and we've got guests lined up for the next 3 weeks. And then the next, which you can find on my Instagram, that poster, 6 weeks. So we got Mark from Brickworld, and then we got a Brickfest episode. And then following that, we've got Crimson Toaster. And then I've already booked up next half of the 6 week slot going November into December. So there's lots coming up, guys. New Year's show is going to be episode 66, and we're hoping to line up something awesome for that. But other than that, this has been me, guys. This has been Cool Hand Luke Bricks on a build stream, and we've done the Pop Drip Bear, which I was lucky enough to get for free to bring home, build, and enjoy and share with you guys. And yeah, sounds like it's going to be. Yeah, it sounds like it's going to, this is going to be, I think this is going to be quite popular as a Christmas present. I would recommend this to kids, even people who only collect Lego, official Lego. I would buy this for. To be honest with you, if I hadn't bought this and built it myself, I would have been giving this to my daughter. She would have enjoyed this build, and so would Kirsty. So people who aren't dedicated to Lego, but like this kind of thing, great. People who like this kind of style, great. And even kids who are kind of indifferent and just want to try out building, great. The only thing I think they would struggle with is maybe the instructions, depending on the age. But other than that, great little set for £5. Like a perfect, I wouldn't call it a stocking filler, because, you know, you wouldn't get a box that size in a stocking unless your stocking's massive. But it is, you know, a small
filler gift, as I would call it. So great. So go and check it out, guys. You can buy Blocktech sets in the works in the UK, but mostly available online as well. And yeah, we've started a new partnership. The company I work for, has started a new partnership with Blocktech. So we're going to be doing a lot more of their sets. So hopefully a lot more builds coming up for you guys in the future. But in the meantime, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate everybody's time. Don't forget to like the stream. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already and you're watching this back on replay. Apologies if you go back and watch and you saw the technical issues I was having at the beginning. But comments in the chat after the fact will also be great. And yeah, all that stuff. You guys, if you've been watching long enough, you'll know what you got to do. But please check me out over on Instagram as well, because I do most of my promotion there. And that's a great place for you guys to help me to promote this channel as best you can, and get some subs up. But yeah, until then, guys, I'm going to play you guys out with one of my older, it's for the show, so it might not all make sense, but one of my older my older songs that I created for this channel a long time ago. Have I put it on here? No, I don't think I've ever put it on here. No, we'll just play you out with one of the other ones then from back in the day. Sorry, one of the newer ones, but an unusual mix of it. I need to upload those older ones. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Appreciate your time, and take care of yourselves out there. Have a great rest of your day, evening, afternoon, whatever time of day it is with you guys. And I'll see you on the next one coming up very, very soon. Hopefully this time next week. Also, potentially a live stream, an unusual live stream, me and Nimble tomorrow. I haven't confirmed it yet, but hopefully me and Nimble are going to get together again, like we did to talk about conventions recently. We're going to get together again, hopefully tomorrow evening. So we'll be right here on this YouTube channel talking about something else that's, I don't know what it is yet. We haven't worked that out. But either way, we're both going to be here. Both are going to be having some chat, if possible, if we can get it worked out, and we'll find something interesting to talk about, even if it does end up just being Lego. So tune in, guys. Hopefully here tomorrow. Check me out on Instagram, where I'll be doing that promotion if it happens. And hopefully I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Take care. Good night. See you all at the Remy. Head to these beats like you a Sir Duke. A Lego chat show to which we welcome all. Talking shit, spitballing and busting your balls. We all love Star Wars, the uniting cause. But as long as you love Lego, it ain't breaking no laws. We all love Star Wars.